How old were you when your father actually put a court in the backyard with a hoop? About 14, I read. Yeah.
14,
so that actually happened to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I started baseball when I was 6, but I really didn't start basketball until I was 12.
Well, did you have any idea somewhere in your cell, in your knee somewhere? Did you have any idea that it could be like this?
No.
No.
I know. And if that was the case, if it was something that I probably was chasing, I would have never gotten it.
You never gotten it. Because, a lot of kids think they're going to be like you.
That's the whole point. If you chase something, then sometimes you never get it. If you put forth the work and all the attitude, next thing you know, it's bestowed upon you.
Wow.
He focused on the moment. He focused on giving everything he had to every practice, every drill, every game, every possession. And because of that approach, greatness came to him naturally. As he said, it was bestowed upon him. That difference matters more than people realize. Jordan started basketball later than most people think. He did not grow up being told he was destined to be a legend. He did not have a brand before he had results. He did not have cameras following his every move as a teenager. He built his name through work, quiet work, painful work, uncomfortable work. And everyone who played with him, no matter how much they disliked him personally, always said the same thing. Michael never asked anyone to do something he was not already doing himself. He ran harder, he practiced longer, he demanded more because he gave more. That is where the separation begins. LeBron James came into the league under a completely different spotlight. He was labeled the chosen one as a teenager. That label was not created by him, but he accepted it fully. He embraced it. He made it part of his identity. He tattooed it on his body. From that moment on, the conversation around LeBron was never just about basketball. It was about destiny, legacy, and greatness before it was earned. There is nothing wrong with confidence. There is nothing wrong with believing in yourself. But there is a fine line between belief and focus. Michael Jordan stayed focused on the work. LeBron has often stayed focused on the outcome. Throughout his career, LeBron has spoken openly about being the greatest. He has said it multiple times. He has allowed media narratives to build around that idea. He has benefited from a media machine that constantly pushes his case. His companies, his connections, and his influence all play a role in shaping how his career is discussed. That does not mean his greatness is fake. It means the way it is presented feels forced to many people. Greatness, when it is real and deep, does not need to be advertised. Michael Jordan never ran from the work. He never tried to control the story. He did not ask people to call him the greatest. In fact, he refused that title out of respect for the players who came before him. He spoke about the game with humility, even while dominating it. That humility made his dominance feel heavier. It felt earned. It felt pure. This is why many fans who watch Jordan live feel differently than fans who grew up watching LeBron. It is not just about highlights. It is about energy. It is about how the game was treated. Jordan treated basketball like something sacred. Every minute mattered. Every possession mattered. Losing was personal. Winning was never enough. LeBron, on the other hand, has often treated basketball as part of a bigger picture. Branding, business, influence, media control, legacy talks. These things matter to him, and that's his right. But to many fans, it creates distance. It creates the feeling that the game is no longer the center. The game becomes a tool instead of the purpose. This is where Jordan's message becomes powerful. He said if he had been chasing greatness, he would have never gotten it. That line explains everything. When you chase a title like GOAT, you start thinking about how things look instead of how they feel. You think about credit instead of responsibility. You think about narratives instead of nights in the gym. Jordan didn't care how it looked. He cared how it felt to dominate. He cared about fear. He cared about breaking opponents mentally. He cared about setting a standard that made his teammates uncomfortable, but better. Every single teammate of Jordan says the same thing. He was hard on them. He was demanding. He was sometimes cruel, but he was always fair because he did more than anyone else. He lifted more. He trained longer. He competed harder. He never took a shortcut. That consistency is why his image never needed protection.
LeBron's image, on the other hand, is constantly protected. Media outlets rarely criticize him honestly. Mistakes get excused. Losses get explained away. Plays that would be called out if done by others are praised when he does them. Commentators bend logic to defend him. This does not happen by accident. It happens because LeBron is not just a player. He is a business. When money, influence, and access are involved, objectivity disappears. Fans notice that. They feel it. And over time, it creates resistance. Not hate, but resistance. People stop wanting to be told what to believe. They stop trusting what they hear. They compare what they see to what they are told, and the gap becomes clear. Michael Jordan never needed that protection. When he failed early in his career, he owned it. When he lost to Detroit, he got stronger. When he struggled, he worked harder. There was no campaign to defend him. There was no media shield. There was just growth. That growth is what people respect. LeBron's career is incredible. His longevity is unmatched. His stats are historic. His ability to stay elite for so long is special. None of that is being denied. But greatness is not only about how long you play or how many points you score. It is about how you carry yourself. It is about how you treat the game. It is about how little you need to say for people to believe. Jordan spoke less and let others speak for him. LeBron speaks more and expects agreement. That difference may seem small, but it is everything. Michael Jordan's shoes still sell at levels no one else touches, even decades after retirement. That is not marketing alone. That is legacy. That is emotional connection. That is people feeling something real when they think about him. It is not forced. It is natural. LeBron has global reach, massive influence, and constant exposure. Yet the emotional connection is not the same. It feels controlled, it feels managed, and fans can sense that. Jordan did not chase love, he chased excellence. Love followed. LeBron has chased recognition. Excellence was always there, but the chase changed how it was received. This is why the unanimous GOAT label will never fully happen for LeBron. Not because he is not great, but because greatness, when chased openly, loses some of its magic. Jordan's magic came from silence, sacrifice, and obsession with the work. The answer was given years ago. It was simple. Do the work. Let the title come to you. Respect the game. Respect those before you. Stay focused on effort, not praise. Jordan lived that message. LeBron heard it, but chose a different path. And that choice is why the debate still exists today. That different path shaped how fans, players, and even history itself respond to LeBron James today. Because when you strip away the noise, the debate is not really about talent. Nobody serious questions LeBron's talent. It is about trust. It is about authenticity. And it is about whether greatness feels earned in silence or explained out loud. Michael Jordan allowed time to speak for him. He never rushed the verdict. He never tried to win the argument while he was still playing. He understood something very few athletes understand even now. Legacy is not built in real time. It is built after the work is finished. It is built when people look back without pressure, without media agendas, without contracts tied to opinions. Jordan never needed to control the story because he trusted the results. LeBron has spent much of his career trying to control how his story is told. From decision specials to documentaries to constant legacy conversations while still active, it often feels like the ending is being written before the book is finished. That makes people uncomfortable. Fans want to decide for themselves. They want to feel like they discovered greatness, not like it was sold to them. That is another key part of Jordan's approach. He did not market himself as greatness. Nike didn't even know what they had at first. The Air Jordan brand exploded because of performance, not because of speeches. Because of moments, because of shots that mattered, because of games where the pressure crushed others and lifted him. Jordan's confidence showed in his play, not his words. When he spoke, it was usually after the work was done. When he failed, he went quiet and got better. When he won, he moved on to the next challenge. There was no need to remind the world who he was. The world already knew. LeBron's era is different, yes. Social media changes everything. Athletes are brands now. Narratives move fast. Silence can be twisted. But even within that context, the difference in approach still stands out. There are moments where LeBron lets the game speak, and those moments are powerful, but they are often followed by explanations, interviews, or comments that pull attention back to legacy instead of performance. That constant self-awareness gets in the way of mystery. Michael Jordan remained a mystery even at his peak. People didn't know how he thought, they only knew how he played. That mystery created fear, respect, and awe. LeBron is more open, more visible, more accessible. That has benefits, but it also removes that edge. When people feel like they know everything about you, it is harder to mythologize you. Greatness needs space to breathe. Jordan gave it space. LeBron filled it. This is why players from Jordan's era speak about him differently. Even those who disliked him still talk about his presence, his intensity, his obsession. They don't talk about branding. They don't talk about narratives. They talk about work. They talk about pressure. They talk about fear.
When players talk about LeBron, the conversation is often mixed. Respect, yes. Admiration, yes. But also discussion about power, influence, and control. That is not inherently bad, but it shifts the focus. It makes the story bigger than basketball. Jordan kept the story small. One game, one possession, one practice. That mindset also shaped how fans relate to losses. When Jordan lost, fans blamed the opponent or admired the effort. When LeBron loses, fans often argue about excuses, rosters, coaching, or context. The conversation becomes defensive instead of reflective. Jordan's losses made him stronger. LeBron's losses often become debates.
This is not about blaming LeBron for the media environment, but it is about recognizing how choices shape perception. Jordan chose to let silence and work define him. LeBron chose to engage, explain, and influence. Both are valid paths, but only one creates unanimous agreement. Unanimity comes from distance. People agree on Jordan because enough time has passed and because there was never doubt about his commitment. There was never a question about whether he wanted the praise or the work more. The answer was always the work. With LeBron, that question still exists for many fans, not because he does not work hard, but because he talks about the results so often that it distracts from the process. Michael Jordan gave the answer plainly. If you chase greatness, you may never get it. If you chase excellence every day, greatness might find you. Jordan chased excellence. LeBron chased legacy. That single difference explains decades of debate. And unless people understand that distinction, the conversation will never truly end. As time moves forward, this gap in perception will only grow clearer. Years from now, when highlights fade and social media arguments disappear, what will remain is feeling. History is not written by debates in real time. It is written by memory. And memory is shaped by how a player made people feel, not just by what the stat sheet says. Michael Jordan made people feel awe. He made opponents feel fear. He made teammates feel pressure to rise or get left behind. He made fans feel like they were watching something that could not be repeated. That feeling still exists decades later. You see it every time his name is mentioned. You feel it in how his era is spoken about with reverence instead of explanation. LeBron James makes people feel impressed. He makes people feel amazed by longevity, by durability, by intelligence. Those are powerful feelings, but they are different. They are analytical feelings, not emotional ones. People admire LeBron, fewer people mythologize him, and that difference matters when history decides where someone stands. The reason Jordan's answer was missed is because it was never about LeBron specifically. It was about human nature. When someone openly seeks validation, even if they deserve it, others instinctively resist. When someone lets validation come to them without asking, people give it freely. Jordan understood that without studying psychology or branding. He lived it. LeBron lives in a different world, one where attention is currency and silence can be risky. But even in that world, the principle still applies. The moments where LeBron lets the game speak are the moments where the debate softens. The moments where legacy is discussed out loud are the moments where resistance returns. That is why the conversation never settles. Jordan never needed closure. His career closed itself. LeBron is still writing his story, and maybe that is part of the problem. People are being asked to judge a painting that is still being painted. Michael Jordan handed the world a finished masterpiece and walked away. In the end, this is not about disrespect. LeBron James is one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. That will never change. But unanimous greatness is not earned by numbers alone. It is earned by restraint, by humility, by letting others speak when you are done. Michael Jordan gave the blueprint without realizing how powerful it would be. Work first, ego last. Let time decide. That message still stands today, and until it is fully understood, the debate will continue. Not because LeBron is lacking, but because Jordan showed a path that few are willing to follow. That is the answer, and it was there all along.